Good evening, welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program this evening, the latest on the murder of Sheena Bora. As sensational new details emerge of this bizarre murder case, including salacious and entirely uncorroborated details of the background of Indrani Mukerjea, we try and stick to fact by identifying what we know so far and what we don't. And what we intend to do in the first part of the show this evening is to identify what we see as a conspiracy of silence. Did this conspiracy of silence involving the family of Indrani Mukerjea almost make this the perfect murder? Also coming up on the program, what was meant to be a day of celebration for the government also turned out to be a day of protest. Today is the 50th year of the anniversary of the 1965 war, an occasion for war vets to remember the great battles that they were a part of. Instead, several 1965 war veterans were out protesting at Jantar Mantar, part of the one rank, one pension protests which have now entered their 75th day. With signs of fresh differences between the government and protesters, the question is this: will OROP remain an unrealized dream for our war veterans? But first, our top story, the murder of Sheena Bora. Today, the police retrieved the skull and bones from the spot where she'd been buried. Among several unanswered questions is this: why did the police not conduct a proper DNA test in the past when they'd actually found the body in the first place?
Are these the remains of Sheena Bora, the 24-year-old woman allegedly murdered by Indrani Mukerjea, her own mother? Recovered by the Mumbai police, a skull and bones dug up here in Raigad, over 80 kilometers from Mumbai. A major breakthrough in the sensational murder case, according to the police. Shockingly, it's the same body that the Raigad police found in 2012 and buried without even conducting a post-mortem or registering a case. However, the police did send some remains for forensic examination. The samples have now been recovered and will be matched.
Today we got the letter from the Khar police station that they were asking the preserved material. So whatever was it, we have submitted to the police station.
The police claim that the crime is a cold-blooded, premeditated act. Indrani, her former husband Sanjeev Khanna and their driver even visited the spot where they would dump the body. The brutality too shocking. According to the police, Sheena was forced to drink water laced with sedatives and then strangulated. Her face was then smashed to destroy her identity and her body was set ablaze.
DNA test results of the evidence uncovered today will make or break the case for the Mumbai police. Their priority now is to connect the accused to the crime scene with witness statements, call data records, and also unearth physical evidence to back their claim.
To further propel the myth that Sheena was alive, the police claim Indrani impersonated Sheena after killing her and had her signature forged on her resignation letter.
We have traced and recorded the statement of the person who sent out this email, signed on behalf of Sheena Bora at the behest of the lady accused.
Taking no chances, Mumbai Police Commissioner Rakesh Maria himself cross-interrogated the accused. But this murky saga of lies, murder and cover-ups doesn't end here. The prime motive of the murder, the police believe, closely linked to the Mukerjeas allegedly siphoning money through proxies after liquidating their media company. And one of the proxies who refused to part with the money, Indrani's own daughter, Sheena Bora. With Santya Dudi and Saurabh Gupta in Mumbai, Anusya Mathur for NDTV.
Well, there's a key stage of the investigations at this rather preliminary stage taking place now. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins us for the very latest on that. Saurabh, we are told that Indrani, the driver, Sham Rai, Mikhail, the man who's said to be her son, are among those who are being questioned, and of her second husband are those who are being questioned right now as we speak in that police station behind you. All right, I'm not sure we have that line with Saurabh. I'll just try once again. Saurabh, can you hear me? Yes or no? All right, we'll try. All right, Saurabh, what's happening behind you?
At the moment, what we know is that Mumbai Police Commissioner Rakesh Maria, the Joint CP Law and Order, Mr. Deven Bharti, and the crack team that was set up specifically for this case is investigating, interrogating all the accused in the case. What is being done is that the accused are being also confronted with each other and all the various statements that have come in so far, those are also being produced before the accused. The police at the moment are focusing on two things. One is to connect the accused to the scene of crime. Secondly, to establish a clear motive. And for both these reasons, they also have the statements of Rahul Mukerjea, Peter Mukerjea's son from a previous marriage, also Mikhail Bora. Sheena Bora's brother is at the police station. All the accused are here. What the cops are doing right now is investigating, interrogating them for, like I said, the motive. And also what we know so far is that they have a written statement from Mr. Peter Mukerjea also with them. But the police say that they will interrogate or question him only after they've got all the accused statements in place and they've interrogated them thoroughly. That's the update from Khar police station at the moment. The interrogation is expected to continue for another few hours at least.
All right, thanks very much for joining us with all of those details, Saurabh. We'll come back to you in a little while from now. The basic question that we are asking this evening on the buck stops here is this. Is this all part of a conspiracy of silence? A conspiracy of silence at so many levels. At the level of the family of Indrani Mukerjea, at the level of Peter Mukerjea, at the level of her second husband Sanjeev Khanna, at the level of her stepson Rahul, at the level of so many, of Mikhail, who we now know to be here, Indrani Mukerjea's son. And what about the police itself? The fact is they may be doing what some say is a sterling job now, but at the earlier stages of this investigation, did they essentially look the other way? Joining us now to debate this, Vivek Tanka, the former Additional Solicitor General of India. Thank you very much for being with us. Nalini Singh with us in the studio. Dilip Cherian also will be joined by Suchitra Krishnamurthy and Shazia Ilmi in a little while from now. Let me go across to you first, Mr. Tanka. My question is this. Now, the police did actually come across evidence that a body had been found. This body was eventually bedded. There was some forensic evidence which was collected, but a proper DNA test was not done. So it was essentially a fluke that resulted in this entire crime being unearthed. So shouldn't we also be asking questions on the role of the police, which could have actually worked towards this case so many years back?
I entirely agree with you. This is a chance discovery. You know, in a case like this, there are three components. First of all, that there has to be a body, and that body have to be a person who's identified. Now, till DNA proves that, we can't say what has been recovered is Sheena. Then there has to be a motive. And third, there has to be people who are connected with the crime.
Yes.
Now, today, the maximum that we can say is we have some evidence of the people who are connected with the crime. We still haven't reached the motive. And we still don't know whether this is the body of Sheena. Somewhere, the police is remiss in missing out this 3 years back. And there was a great conspiracy of silence among the family members. How can somebody be missing in a prominent family like Mukerjee's and others? The brother doesn't say a word, grandparents are quiet, mother is speaking lies, Peter Mukerjea gives different versions at different times. Somewhere there is a conspiracy of silence, and more than that, a complicity.
All right, complicity. We'll get to all of what you're saying, but I just want to cover the police angle in a little bit more detail. Nalini, the fact of the matter is that Rahul had actually said that, look, you know, there is a person who's missing. He'd apparently approached the police to file a missing persons report. He'd also apparently spoken to his father saying that, look, Sheena has gone missing. The police, even at this stage, didn't do anything or didn't do enough. Isn't that bizarre?
Vishnu, you know, since yesterday or the day before, some people have said that it's the Bombay police's proficiency that has brought the case to this pass. There is the police commissioner himself who took cognizance of a random phone call. But my question is that it's not at all showing the proficiency of Bombay police versus the police of Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, etc. Not in the least, because if police can get overawed by the glamour or the power or the seeming connectedness of somebody who seems to live in in a lovely flat and seems to know the world, then what kind of police is it? So when a person goes for missing report, you and I have grown up in this atmosphere, me more than you, that when you go somewhere they say this is not this jurisdiction, go to the other jurisdiction. We have covered so many cases, 5 jurisdictions, and then the person dies or gives up. So this played out in 2012, and I'm sure it plays out even today. If there is a road accident today, now we just know that if there is a road accident, you can go to the nearest police station, but you can also call this the van. But what I'm saying is, it shows that police was totally could be manipulated, that it was malleable,
callous at the very least,
and callous, but that's the very least.
Yeah.
But it could be, because later there is a hint that when this so-called body was reported by the villagers, some police officer allegedly said, look the other way.
Right. Well, that is an allegation that we've heard, but there are so many pieces of uncorroborated evidence or information at this stage. Shazia, let me come to you first. If we keep dwelling on this theme of this conspiracy of silence, perhaps the biggest amount of silence comes from Peter Mukerjea himself. The fact that he didn't file a missing person report for a person who's actually lived in his house. The fact that he knew all along, and he's gone on record to say that his son was in a relationship with Sheena, that his son apparently had even said that there was something murky that was going on, and he didn't seem to have any idea, any consideration, nothing at all. Isn't the role of Peter Mukerjea central at this stage?
Yeah, I hate to believe this, because I've known Peter to be an extremely efficient, bright, reasonable and an affable man. But I don't expect him to be so utterly naive and foolish as to overlook so much and to be to almost scared or meek to the degree that he turns out to be from the face of it. Also, what is difficult to comprehend at this point of time, that a plan was made. First of all, it was talked about and it was executed, and people lived after the death if this is indeed Sheena's body. What we don't know right now is that it is indeed the remnants of the body, or exhumed, is indeed Sheena's. And I say that very sadly, because it's chilling really to even talk about it. But having said that, we do know a lot of other things. There is a confession of a driver who wants to confess.
Yes.
There is indeed a detailed statement which has not been countered by anybody of Sanjeev Khanna, who admits to having abducted the girl.
Yes.
And being asleep at the time strangulation took place, which again, talking about it is doing something to me and to a whole lot of people watching this, because it is blood curdling and spine chilling, so to speak. So there is enough there on the table. So let's not just pretend and say that, oh, just because the body is not Sheena's yet, has not been identified or forensically, nothing has happened.
Okay.
And also there is evidence of forgery of documents.
Yeah,
forgery
we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
All I'm saying is that
we'll come to that in just a few moments, Shazia. But Dilip, let me ask you this question. The way this has been covered in the media, the focus has been so much on a character evaluation, assassination of Indrani Mukerjea, not specific to this case. There are question marks which are being raised on her character linked to the relationships that she has had. The fact of the matter is that this is a murder case. It's a horrific murder case. Do you believe that at some level, this look at her character, her relationships, the children that she had, whether that was moral, immoral, and what that seems to indicate, is taking away from the heart of the issue, that this was a murder, pure and simple?
There are two elements to this. One is what the police is talking about, and a lot of what is coming out in the public domain is based on either direct briefings or indirect briefings by the police. And the second thing is that given that there is a bit of a feeding frenzy on an issue like this, given the complexity of it, it is natural that the media would go into areas where it's more easy to get information. So what's happening is that a lot of people are talking about Indrani, about the retinue of ex-husbands and of the relationships between family members. So in a sense, it's a sad and very, very tragic soap opera of a family in modern times. And that is where ultimately the questions you're asking of motives and of criminality will come through. But yes, this is in a sense the soap opera which is surrounding a very sad murder, and also a telling commentary on the nature of society as it is, not necessarily high society, but the new shape of Indian society in many levels.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that there is an effort to say that this is something that happens only in high society. Even there, the fact is that this kind of families which are in some sense of discontinuity, dysfunctionality of a major kind, is actually coming through in middle class India and also in lower strata of society. So what we need to understand is that part of the fascination that's there around the story is about the whole human saga that's unfolding, about the character and the kinds of people that are part of this whole story.
Suchitra, Suchitra Krishnamurthy, the actor and singer, joins us now. Suchitra, would you agree that this is as much about a murder as it is about an analysis of the breakdown of a certain equation within a family setup? That's what has propelled this story to the headlines.
I think yes, people are reacting at a moral level, but the story is about the murder. I think that is far more important than Indrani's character, which everybody is trying to malign, including Peter, which I find very strange, because nothing has been, proved yet, and I don't believe that he's innocent and she's guilty, or she's guilty and I don't believe any of that till it's absolutely proved. I think we trust Rakesh Maria enough to know that if he says it's a murder, it is a murder. But this whole angle of character assassination and the almost misogynistic slant that media is taking, that people are taking, is actually totally stunning. I mean, a man who runs a conglomerate,
I don't agree.
whose forte is to handle people, pretends to be so innocent. I think what is shocking is that everybody held their silence for so long, and why is it coming out now is the main issue here.